Hello, you're welcome to Classic Data Lab, where we provide you with the needed skill to extract insight, add value, and make impact from data. In our previous video, we covered how to download, install, and launch Jupyter Notebook from Anaconda distribution. In today's video, we are going to have an introduction to Jupyter Notebook, where we will cover the interface of Jupyter Notebook, the icons, and some shortcuts in Jupyter Notebook. So let's get started. All right, so if you launch Jupyter Notebook from your command prompt or from the Anaconda navigator, it will open a home page for you in your default browser. I'm using Firefox as my default browser, so it will open on Firefox like what you are seeing at the moment, right? So if you also launch your own, you will get a similar interface. It will not be the same because we don't have the same folders, right? Okay, so if you are from the home page, you can launch a new Jupyter Notebook here, right? So how do we do that? You look at the right hand side of your home page, you will see the new icon. When you click on it, you will see some options. Just choose Python 3. That's all. So let's click on it and see what we will get here. So the moment you click on the Python 3 kernel, is going to open a new Jupyter Notebook for you. All right, so this is the Jupyter Notebook. This is the interface. It looks very simple, but it has a lot in it. So let's take it one by one. You can see at the top here where the name is shown, right? You can change the name, right? You can rename it, and it's always good to give it a name that makes it understandable to you. So let's call this one okay, let's call it introduction to introduction to Jupyter Notebook. So introduction to Jupyter Notebook. All right, so let me just make the N capital so that, all right, so that's it. The moment you, after naming it, just click on rename, it names the notebook for you. But before that, let me give you the different sections on the interface. So we have the header bar where you can rename your notebook, and also tells you the last time you saved it. Okay, you saved your notebook. So that's the header bar. You can see the Jupyter icon over there. By the way, the name Jupyter came from the core programming languages that the IDE support, right? That's Julia, Python, and R. So the word Jupyter, or the name Jupyter, came from these three programming languages. All right, so that's the header bar for you. The next bar you see here is called the menu bar. It contains the different menus that you can use in Jupyter Notebook. We will take them one by one. Then the last bar you can see here is called the toolbar, right? Basically, it contains some shortcuts that that makes things easier as compared to the menu bars. Then you could see a box here. This is called a cell in Jupyter Notebook. So we will come back to cells, but basically there are three basic type of cells. However, you are going to just consider two, which are the most common ones that you use as a data scientist. All right, so let's start with the menu bars here. So like any other programming application or any other application, you can see that we have the files menu, edit menu, view, insert, cell, kernel, widgets, and help. These are very, very important. Each menu has different options that you can choose. So let's start with the file menu. When you click on the file menu, you will see some options popping below, right? At this point, or from this file menu, you can open a new notebook. As you can see here, when you click on this Python 3, is going to open a new notebook for you. We don't need that, so we are not going to click on it. If you also click on open as an option here, it will open the home page like the one we saw previously, right? It will open another home page for you. Great. You can also make a copy of the notebook by clicking on copy. You can save it in a different format, like by clicking on the save as, and you can rename it from here. You can also rename the notebook from the file section, right? That's the option for you, rename. You can also save checkpoint, though automatically Jupyter Notebook saves your work. In case you want to save it in such a way that you can revert back to a particular point, then you need to save and checkpoint. Just click on save and checkpoint. This will allow you to save the notebook, and then as you move on and you want to come back to the old state, you can revert by clicking on the revert checkpoint, right? Yeah, so that's the save checkpoint and then revert to checkpoint. Then this one gives you the print preview. We are not going to talk much about that. So let's talk about the download, one of the important options you can find in the file menu section. Yeah, the download allows you to download your notebook in different file extension format. So for instance, you can decide to download your notebook in ASCII doc, HTML, LaTeX, Markdown, and even as a notebook itself. Okay, even PDF, you can download as PDF or Python file .py format. Now the option is yours, but usually if you want people to reuse your notebook, then download it as a notebook format. So as you see it here, that's how it's going to be for you. And if you want it you want to download as a PDF, you can choose the PDFs via HTML or PDF via LaTeX. The option is yours. All right. However, if you don't even download it, automatically it is saved on your local computer. Though Jupyter Notebooks opens in your default browser, you don't require internet to operate it, and you don't even require internet to download it, unless you want to rather install a package or download a package from the internet. That's where you need a connection. Okay, so that's it. The last option you see in the file section is close and halt. By clicking on close and halt, it will close the notebook for you and then stop the kernel, right? So we will not click on it because we don't want to close our notebook yet. All right, so the next icon we see is the edit icon, right? That's the edit menu. When you click on the edit menu, you see options like cut cell, copy cells, delete cells, merge cells, and so on. This allows you to copy and paste a cell, make changes to a given cell based on your preference, right? You can merge two or more cells, you can move a cell down, move a cell up, and then you can also decide to replace let's say a code in a cell, right, by clicking on find and replace. All right, you can also copy attachments in a cell or cut attachments in a cell, right? So that's the edit menu. It allows you to edit a cell or a group of cells, right? Then the next one we can see here is the view icon. The view icon also controls the interface of your notebook, right? For instance, if you click on toggle header, it will hide the header for you. You wouldn't see the name again. You realize that the notebook name is gone, it's hidden. If you want to show it back, click on the same toggle header, go to view and click on the same toggle header. It will bring it back here. If you want to also hide the toolbar, you just click on toggle toolbar. It will hide the toolbar for you. If you want to bring it back, it's the same process. Okay, yeah, so we are bringing them back because we need them for this introduction. All right, you can also, from the view menu, you can also decide to change how a particular cell should appear, right? If you want the cell to have to have attachments shown, or want to see some tags on the cell, you want to see the edit metadata, you can just click on it. But for now, we need it to be now. Just need the cell to be simple, right? You can do that on your own when you are reviewing this introduction. All right, then we go to the insert menu. The insert menu does two main things. Allows you to insert a cell below, right, or insert a cell above, right, like this. You above another cell, right? Okay, so because I've not written anything, you will not see the difference here, but the insert allows you to add a cell below the current cell or above the current cell. Then we have the cell menu too. The cell menu basically controls how you can run cells there. So you can run a selected cell, you can run new a selected cell and insert a new cell. You can run a cell above a given cell or cells below a given cell, right? So all these options are shown here. Later we will learn some shortcuts of running on how to run a cell. Okay, one thing that I want you to pay attention to is the cell type. Though you see it as simple as it is, you can change it to a markdown form, and you can also change it to a raw NB convert form. We'll not tackle raw NB convert because we don't really need it. You will need, what you need to pay attention to is the code cell and the markdown cell, right? Code cell allows you to write your codes and Python will execute it as such. But markdown allows you to write notes or write text, and it will see like a note, right? So it will be like a text editor, like the way you write your sentences in Word or any other text editor. That's what the markdown allows you to do. You can insert pictures, insert videos, insert links, and so many things, right? You can even create table of content in the markdown, right? So we will later have a whole video dedicated to markdown. All right, so that's one thing that I want you to also see. When you come to current outputs and then all outputs, basically it allows you to see the output of a cell, or if you want to hide it too, so it allows you to hide it, right? So it allows you to toggle the cell outputs, either show it out or you hide it. The same thing for the all output, just that the all output refers to the output of all cells, not just a particular cell, right? Good. So that's a quick overview of the cell menu. Let's talk about the kernel. The kernel you can view as the engine that runs the Jupyter notebook, right? So if you want to restart a notebook, you want to stop maybe the execution of a particular code, you can do it from the kernel by clicking on interrupt. It will stop it for you. We want to refresh it or restart it, you can do that. You want to restart and run all output or restart and clear outputs, there are options for you, right? So you can try them one by one and see the outcome. Great. Sometimes you lose connection, or the notebook can lose connection, and you may not even know why. Well, that is not a problem for us. All that we need to do is to reconnect it. Just click on reconnect, it will reconnect it for you. And you can also shut a notebook down from the kernel menu. At the same time, you can also change the kernel, right? Here we have only Python 3 because we've not installed any extensions, right? So that's the basic one for you, right? Great. So that's the kernel. The widget to just allows you to save notebook as a widget state or clear notebook widget, right? Also allow you to download widget state and then embed widget. So there are options here for you, but we are not really going to concentrate on that. The last menu you see is the help menu. This help menu allows you to get help concerning Jupyter notebook, right? It allows you to have access to the shortcuts. You can see here, it will show you all the shortcuts that we have in Jupyter notebook, right? And then also allows you to have access to the documentations of some important packages in Python like matplotlib, scipy, pandas, numpy, and so on, right? So there are links that are being attached to the name that you are seeing here. So the moment you click on it, it takes you to the documentation and allows you to have a quick reference. All right, so that's a quick overview of the menu bar. Our next bar is the toolbar. Basically, the toolbar contains some shortcuts, all right? Shortcuts to some of the options you have in the menu bar. For instance, you could see the save icon here, allows you to save and checkpoint. Instead of going to the file menu and choosing save and checkpoint, you can just click on this icon and then you accomplish the same task. You want to add a cell, instead of going to the insert menu, you can just click on the plus icon here or the plus sign here, and it will add a new cell below your current cell. You can also cut a cell, copy here, and paste. Okay, you can move a cell up by clicking on the up arrow, move a cell down by clicking on the down arrow. If you also want to run a cell, you can just click on this run icon and it will run the cell for you. So for instance, I want to write the code, my first code here. I'm going to say print, then let's say print hello world here. Okay, so hello world, and then I want to run this. The moment I write it doesn't mean that it is being run or it's being executed unless I give a command to do that. So I've written my code here, print hello world. Then I will go here and click on run. Then it runs it for me. You get that? All right. So that's the run icon for you. Sometimes you want to also stop the kernel, as we learned earlier on, and you don't want to go to the kernel menu to choose a different option or choose an option. You can just click on the stop icon here and it will interrupt the whole kernel for you. This at the same time, you can also restart the kernel. Okay, it allows you to also restart the kernel too. And if you want to restart the kernel and run all, you can click on the icon here, right? That is it. The box that you are seeing here tells you the kind of cell you are operating, right? So if I click on in a cell, you realize that you will see code here. If I was to be operating in the markdown cell, you rather see markdown. So from this box, you can change a cell to a markdown or a code cell. So here, let me change this to a markdown for you, right? So if I change to a markdown and I run, I realize that it's just printing it as it is. It's not really seen as an instruction or a code to run, right? So that's the markdown for you. So let's take it back to a code cell. So I just click on code. Again, I'll show you the shortcuts to do all these things. Then the last icon you're seeing on the toolbar is the help icon, right? This one basically also contains the shortcuts that you will need for some of the commands in Jupyter Notebook, right? Yeah, and also contains some of the important things like the save regex, clear regex, and so on, right? Good. So let's get back here and then move onto the cells itself. So far we've learned about the header bar, which is this one at the first bar at the top. You've learned about the menu bars and then the toolbar. Now let's move to the cell. What you see here, if you're is called a cell. You're inside a cell, you realize that it's highlighted green. The moment you go outside it, it will highlight blue. All right, anytime it highlights blue, it means that whatever you are doing refers to the whole cell, not just the content, but the whole cell. However, if you are inside it, whatever action or command you give basically relates to the content of the cell, not just the cell body, right? So when it highlighted blue, it refers to the cell body. When it highlighted green, it means that it refers to the content of the cell. This is very, very important, right? Especially when you're dealing with shortcuts. So that's it. So this is our print, our first code in the cell code, right? Our first command in the cell. So we can run this as we did earlier on by clicking on run, or going to the cell icon and choose run cells, right? Anyway, it will run for us. Good. Now, I want you to know that though the cell looks very small, you can write even millions of code in a single cell. So all that you need just to expand it, like you see here, right? And you can write 1,000 lines of code in a single cell, and Python will run them for you. You can also decide to run them one by one, as in you run the code. You write the codes in different cells, right? So that one too is also possible. It all depends on what you want to do as a person. Okay, so then let me take it back to the normal size, and then now show you some of the shortcuts here. Okay, so let's start with the cutting a cell or copying a cell. So for instance, I'm here right, I want to insert a cell above this particular cell, a new cell above it or below it. All that I need to do is to click outside the cell, right? And then remember that anytime you run the code, Jupyter Notebook numbers it for you to know, for easy referencing, so you can refer to a cell by the number that you are seeing here, right? You can just, if you click outside the cell and it's highlighted blue, means that whatever you do refers to the cell body. At this point, I can insert another cell above it or below it. How do I do that? The shortcut is just to press A. If you want to insert a cell above, it is A, just A, like that, and it's insert the cell above your current cell for you. If you want to insert a cell below your current cell, just make sure that your current cell is highlighted blue and you press B, then you will get a cell below your current cell. So that's a shortcut to insert a cell or above or below, right? Great. The next shortcut that we need to know is copying a cell. If you want to copy a cell, I mean, we have the options here, right? We have the option as in the copy option here. You can also do that from the edit menu, but a simple way is just to click on C for copy. So once it is selected blue, just click on C. I mean, not Control C, just C, okay? And that is it. It is copied. So if you want to paste it anywhere, you can also decide to use for instance, I want to paste it here, right? I can just click on the paste icon and it will paste it for me. In case I don't want to use the paste icon, okay, I don't want to use the paste icon, what I rather want to do, I want to rather use a shortcut for the paste. Okay, so what will I do? Just click on V. V means paste. Okay, not Control V, but just V, right? So just a quick recap: A for inserting a cell above, B for inserting a cell below, C for copying a cell, and then V for pasting a cell. Remember, I've not added anything like Control yet. Okay, so these are the basic shortcuts here. So let's add more to that. Sometimes you want to paste a cell, all right, but you want to rather paste it above a particular cell, not below. If you want to, for instance, paste this particular cell above your previous cell, what do? You just have to use Shift V rather, right? Make sure that you are in your desired cell and just click on Shift V. It will paste the cell above your current cell, right? But if you just click on V, it will paste the cell below your current cell. So that is the copy and paste for you. Now, what about if you want to delete a cell? Like I have them repeating here. I want to delete this particular cell. Well, once it is highlighted blue, just press on D twice. Okay, D, and that's it. It is gone. If you want to undo your action in Jupyter Notebook, don't use Control Z per se, especially if you are referring to a whole cell, right? Just press on Z. It will undo your actions for you, right? So undo in Jupyter Notebook is Z. However, if you are within a cell, like for instance, I'm here and I have deleted this and I want to undo my action in this case, I don't need to press Z. When I press Z, you rather see that it will write Z or Z for me. What do I have to do? Just use Control Z rather. Okay, you see that? So in this case, your normal Control Z will work. So within a cell, you can use the Control X, the Control C, the Control Z to undo things, to cut, to copy, or I mean the normal shortcuts can be done in a cell. But if you are referring to the whole cell, the commands or the shortcuts are different, right? Great. So that's the deletion for you. Sometimes you also want to merge cells. You want to bring some 2 or 3 cells together. For instance, let's have another cell here, and this time we are going to say let's say print hi in this case. Okay, so let's say print hi here. Okay, when we run this here, you realize that it's run all right, but I may want to have this print hello world and print hi in one cell. I can merge it, right? So that's where you have to, when your cell, just select the cell that you want to merge. For instance, I want to merge these two cells, cell 3 and cell 2. All that I need to do is that while cell 3 is highlighted blue, I press on shift and then the down arrow so that I will select both. Okay, so both of them are selected, and then I can press shift M, shift plus M, right, will merge the cells for you. So when I rerun this, you see hello world and you see hi. Okay, so that's a cell merging, a shortcut to merge cells in Jupyter Notebook. Great. We also want to learn other shortcuts, like how to run a cell. Okay, so if you go back to this, let's go back to our first cell here. Let me delete this to avoid confusion. So let's say DD is gone. Okay, so this particular cell, cell 2, assuming I want to run it, you know, instead of going to click on run, the run icon, right, there are several ways. There are 3 main ways you can do that. Let me show you from the shortcut, from the help menu. Just type run, okay, and you will see the different shortcuts that you can use. So you can just use shift plus enter, and you can also use alt enter. So when you use alt enter, what happens is that it runs the cell and insert a new cell below your current cell. Okay, but when you use shift enter, it runs the cell and move on to select the next cell. And if you also use control enter, it will run it and then stay there. It will not move to the next cell or insert a new cell. So let's see the demo here. So assuming I want to run this particular code, let's write a code here. Let's say that 3 plus 4, okay, sorry, 3 plus 4, oh, and then plus 5, plus 5, plus, let me say 1. Okay, something like this, and I'm going to run this. I can go here and click on run. I can also go to the cell and select run, but what I want to do, I want to use a shortcut to save time. Mostly you rather use a shortcut, so I can just press shift enter, and that's it. So you press the shift and then the enter. You press the shift while holding on to it, you press enter. Okay, so you will get your cell will run and the next cell will be highlighted. You could see that as I run the cell once the cell 5 was run, the cell 2 was selected. Okay, I mean it came down to select the next cell below it. All right, we can also the same way, let's add something else just to have a differentiation here. So let's say plus 5 again. Okay, so here if I'm going to run this, instead of using shift enter, I'm going to use alt enter. Take note of it. Press alt, then you press the enter or the command. Okay, so what do you see? It runs it 18 and then it creates a new cell below it. So that's the alt enter. You press alt and plus enter, and that's it. Okay, so the last one that I want us to do is let me add another value 9. We want to add 9 to the 18. I'm going to run this, but I'm not going to use shift enter or alt enter. I'm going to rather use control enter, and you see the difference. Control plus enter, right? You see that it runs it all right, but it didn't select the next cell, neither did it insert another cell for me, right? So it runs it and it stays at where it was. Now the option is yours. Common and usually we will use the shift enter rather instead of the alt enter or the control enter, but the option is yours. Okay, any of them will run your cell for you. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to show you before I leave is how to convert the shortcut to convert a cell to a markdown or a code, right? For instance, this particular cell is a code cell. If I want to convert this to a markdown, how do I do that? I can go to the box here and choose markdown, but that's maybe I don't want to do that and I want to just have a shortcut, I will just make sure that my cell body is highlighted, right, blue, and then I will click on M, just M will make it a markdown, and that's it, right? If I want to undo this, I want to take it back to a code cell. Once it's cell is highlighted blue, then I click on Y. Y will take me back to a code cell. So Y for a code cell, M for a markdown. Okay, great. Then you can also have something called you want to find a particular word. For instance, I want to find every hello here, or and then print it or change it, okay, and say good morning, right, or good, or hi. So let's change every hello to hi. To do that, you can just press Ctrl F, right, as usual. That means you want to find it, and then you set whatever you want to find. You could have options like highlight all, match keys, match whole words, and so on. The option is yours. So let's say we want to find hello here, right? Okay, so this one, rather, the Ctrl F allows you to find it, right, but it doesn't let you replace. So you just highlight to show you where you have hello. I can just click on highlight all, and you realize that wherever we have hello, it's been highlighted. Okay, that's it. But if I want to find hello and replace it with another word, then I will go to the edit, and then the edit menu, and I'll choose find and replace, right? So I want to find hello. Okay, you realize that the hello here, though it's not case sensitive in this case, but I want to just be specific. So you see the hello here, is selecting it, but what I want to replace it with what? I want to replace it with hi, rather, right? So you could see here being the green. So when I say replace, or wherever you see hello, is now represented with hi. But remember, it's not yet executed. So if I want to have the effect, I will run it. Because I just selected one cell, it does it for that particular cell. If I want to do it for all the cells, I will have to just select all the cells and then execute the replace all, and that will work for me. Okay, so that's the find and replace option in the edit menu. Okay, now assuming you want to know where your notebook is stored, sometimes you don't want to download it again, you just want to go to find it in your folder, right, the folder you're working in, and you don't even know which folder you're working in. No worries. To know your current working directory, just type pwd and press enter, shift enter, run it. That's it. So here I'm working from my desktop, so this particular notebook is stored over there. pwd means print working directory, so it will print the working directory for you. This is the folder that I'm working from. If I have any other folder, or I had stored my notebook in a different folder or a new folder on my desktop, you realize that it will point to that particular folder, right? And if you also want to see the items or the list of files you have in a particular folder, just type ls, right? So this is more like command prompts, like commands, the command lines instructions. Okay, so that's it. And you can see that I have a lot of files in my folder, in my desktop folder. Yeah, so that's a quick overview of Jupyter Notebook. Let me know if you have any challenge, or you want me to assist you in a different form. Maybe I have left something out that you wish I should cover. Just let me know in the comment section. And you're also new to Jupyter Notebook and you don't know how to install it, make sure you watch the previous video that talks about how to install and launch Jupyter Notebook. I've added the link in the description section, so don't forget to check it out. And before you leave, remember to hit the subscribe button, share, and help somebody. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.